Good morning. Welcome back to the next video, which I guess is the first video in a new thing. We're going to start another game. I've got an idea in my head, a very vague idea that I don't think it's worth getting into too much detail about. Because before we get started on anything game related, I'm basically going to be copying over all my renderer stuff. And then I think I'm going to sort of take a moment to sort of reflect on some lessons learned from how I'd sort of structured the last project and see if we can do this one in a slightly nicer way. So we're going to start out with making a new project. Always exciting. I won't lie, I did just try this and then it fell on my face because I couldn't get project or projectile in Emacs to pick it up. I'm hoping I've worked that out now. So we haven't got a name for it yet. We're calling it Game2. We'll come in here, and I think the issue is that I just need to get in it, and then I think projectile takes it seriously, basically. We're going to add a main directory for all of our Odin code to go in. We're going to add a main.odin, our entry point, and then we're going to go ahead and just write a hello world. If I can remember how to do this, main is a proc. I'm going to format print line hello world. That should work. Let's see. We're going Odin run main. Cool. And it picks it up now. Yeah. Fun. Yeah, you should have seen. Maybe I shouldn't have deleted the video. I was recording. I basically did that exact same thing. But I had not get knitted yet. And so I was trying to work out how to make Emacs pick up the new project and just tearing my hair out. But behind us now. Only have to do that once. Right. So we're there. We can now go ahead and make our first commit. Cool. And then I think if we make a split so we can just see what's going on, jump back and forward. The plan is now to rip a load of stuff out of here and copy it over. I could do something neater and more proper and make this into an actually like reusable library. We might do that at some point, but I think currently it's kind of just in a rough shape. Right, all of these helper functions are in a fairly rough shape. So I'm not sure I want to get into all of that. I don't know if I can I mark these and copy them all at once? That'd be nice. Like that. Copy 3 files to Game2 main. Does that work? Did that do what I'd want it to do? And then from there to Game2 / main. Cool. If we come back to Flectris. Is there an easy way to like unmark everyone? There we go. I want to take renderer with me as well. So let's take that to Game2 main. Right. So I think that all makes a bit of sense. And compilation errors all over the place. Not defining vertex or dim. Dim's one of the things I wanted to think about a little bit. Or pos, similarly. Right. So the goal for this first section is basically to draw something on the screen. Basically just ripping stuff out of the old code. To give us a starting point for the next thing. So, yeah, we're going to need a value for vertex. Go back to Flectris again. Don't know where I put that in Flectris. This one. I want to compress it. I want to copy it. Game2 main. Recompile. Hmm. Okay, so it turns out there's lots of stuff that needs copying over. Draw the ball. And then that's got lots of stuff in it that's really related to that other project. That's annoying. This draw entities thing. The way that it's working in Flectris is basically you go from a game state to a buffer of entities that represents kind of everything that currently exists to a buffer of drawables, which then gets passed into the renderer. Kind of hoping to compress those entities and drawables into a single thing. But I think for now, we're going to just keep copying stuff over to see where we end up. You copy that. We also need pos. There's pos defined in here. Pos dim. So let's go ahead and say copy u to game2 main. Or again, color doesn't exist. Oops. Color's got to come with us. So is it going to be basically everything but entities in game? Into main. Entity buffer. It's referencing drawable. Yeah, these things are all just very interrelated, aren't they? That'll be defined in here, won't it? So that's coming with us. And then game's coming with us. Yeah, it drags everything in, doesn't it? Piss. Maybe that's not a good way to do this then. Okay, let's rewind. I don't think... maybe color's fine. What's in color? It's a load of RGB stuff. Unmark you. Drawable. Maybe fine. Like that and that, I think we're going to need. Entity. Don't think we're going to want. How do we do this? All right, there's bin entity. Pos dim, we're going to refactor, but I'm going to keep them for now. We'll keep vertex, I guess. Or maybe the move is actually to say we'll delete drawable and we'll redefine the bits we need. Because this is all related to renderer. This might even actually want to live in renderer. Hey. What's going on? Right, drawable.odin. So renderer makes a thing of drawables. It's complaining that drawable doesn't exist. So let's go ahead and just be like drawable is struct. I need to add a package main at the top. I also don't have the global context, which is fair. So GC equals a global context. Where global context is a struct. Actually, I think that's another thing we can probably just go rip off from game in here. No? In main. Okay. Main. It's this thing. You need a load of imports. It's all a bit boring, but never mind. And Vulcan. We're not going to have sounds for a while, so let's ignore that one. Render. Type drawable has no field override color. Do we care about override color? Unsure. Have a look. So yeah, we've not pulled in PosDim yet. That probably. Oh no, we have. Why are Pos and Dim complaining then? Right, let's go ahead and say we would like to find in Flectris main drawable. Let's see. Pos is pos. Z is a float. Dim. Dim. Texture data. Texture data. Override color. We could just have no override color, couldn't we? My texture data. Struct base pos dim dim. Texture index number. Renderer is expecting required device extensions, which apparently doesn't exist on there. Guessing, let's just find it in here. Yes. I think what we might actually do is move that stuff just to the top of renderer. For now, at least, 'cause I think that's where it's all being done. Cool. So let's fix our type issues at least. All that shite. And I think where we would like to start is basically just reviewing how these things are all working. To see. Yeah, just like to see. One thing I am a little bummed with is, so the way I've got things working at the minute, there's no way to, for example, if we come in here and we say P1 will be a pos x equals 1, y equals 2, and P2 will be a pos x equals 3, y equals 4. We currently can't do P1 plus P2 and get a pos, which is upsetting because Odin supports that behavior. Right, so if I do this, that'll be an error because that's not known. But if instead of this I'd done, so let's get rid of these and be like P1 is equal to 2 F32s 1 2, P2 is equal to 2 F32s 3 4, then that totally works. Right, if I format print line res, it gets the answer you expect. I actually don't know if that works up to like arbitrary sizes. So if we do 6 and 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. Yeah. See? So that's really nice, right? That makes life a lot easier. Because otherwise, to get the same sort of behavior out, you come in here, we uncomment these. Instead of getting to just do res is p1 plus p2, you have to do res is equal to x equals p1 dot x plus p2 dot x, y equals p1 dot y plus p2 dot y. You have to tell it it's a pos. And I mean, that works, but it's just annoying, right? And you could wrap that into like an add function, but now you have to write like add 1 and 2, and now if you have 3 of them, you have to like a varargs version. Like it'd be nicer to just use this built-in behavior. I'm not sure how we go about doing it though. I'm kind of curious if we have a look. If there's anything about it in Odin's stuff. Because essentially, I guess what I'm saying is I'd like to be able to say this type is actually just this array of floats, and I want to give each array element a name. Right, I don't want to have to do like pos index 0 for x. I want to be able to do pos.x and have it mean index 0. I think there we go. What's array programming? Sick. So let's just explain what we were saying. We've got all the behaviors you kind of expect. It allows for swizzle operations, which I've not had to do, but I hear is very nice. Any array with length less than or equal to 4, which is nice. Vector 3 is all of that. It's like there. How does he do that? Or is that just built in? I hope it's not just built in because... Hang on. Let's go back to this version. And we'll go ahead and be like 2 and 2. Right, we take all of that. Take all of that. And x would be p1.x. Res.x. That just works. So is there no way for me to assign those values? Really, what I was thinking is I would quite like to have like width and height. I'm assuming that doesn't exist on here. No. I guess you can have a dim and treat its x as its width. That all seems a bit sad. Slices, slice shorthand, yeah, that's all he has to say about it. I wonder how it's implemented, because I think a lot of this is implemented in Odin. But we might, in fact, have it over here. Construct an array with designated initializers is just a way to put values in, isn't it? Okay, an array is a simplified fixed length container. Each element has the same type. An array's index can be any integer, character, or enumeration type. What do you mean it can be an enumeration type? I guess they're just integers under the hood, aren't they? Fixed arrays are equivalent to a struct with a field for each element. It's just a number of values in a row in memory. The above array can also be constructed with a question mark, designating initializers, built-in len, bounds checks. Hmm. Let's see how you could name them. That's slightly annoying. Type alias. Is there anything else in here about this? So distinct types. Foo is a struct. Okay, so let's have a think then. So can I make in here, I don't know, a distinct type? How's he do it? Thing is distinct type. Foo is distinct type. So two F32s. And then this can just be foo. That can be foo. Right, that then just works like you want it to. Like that. Is there any way? If you do this, then that blows up. So that doesn't really do what I want, does it? I say bar is a struct using foo. And I can't do this. That's the using stuff will work. Implicit selector expression. Let's have a look. Protein enumeration, bit sets. Struct literals. Struct directives. All fields share the same offset. Struct field tags. Type switch statement, union tags. I'm gonna look up like the using keyword. Turns out the word using just comes up a lot. There we go, using statement. Bring entities declared in a scope or namespace into the current scope. This can be applied to names, struct fields, procedure fields, and struct values. Let's take a very simple entity struct that has a vector 3 and some orientation. Can be used like this. But really, what I want to be able to do is use the Y directly. So you say using, and you get access to the Y directly. That way this is going. Yeah, using entity position, you get X, Y, and Z. We can also apply the using statement to struct fields directly, making all the fields of position appear as if they are an entity itself. Yes. No. Can we ask a clanker? Get out of here, Gemini. What do I want to say? In the Odin programming language, I can create a fixed size array like X. It's 3, let's say 2 F32s, 1 and 2, and then access the elements using X. X is a bad example, isn't it? X.X. and x dot y. Is there a way to define, I'm going to call it A. Define A. I can customize its elements, different names, e.g. A dot W and A dot H. Because I'm hoping you can't re-alias. Nope. However, you can achieve exactly what you want by using a struct with a raw union directive. This allows you to map different names to the same memory location. The most common way to do this in Odin is to define a struct where an array and named fields share the same memory. Interesting. My god, they spit out so much text today. Zoom out a little bit. What's a raw union, Odin? Tag can be applied to a struct. The struct's fields will share the same memory space, which serves the same functionality as unions in the C language. The struct's fields, in this case, V and the anonymous struct, oh, interesting. What does using underscore do in a union? So you can do a.v to get the underlying data. Oh, interesting. They're using V for vector, aren't they? I don't even hate that. Let's see if we make that bar. So you do have to do .v's to get the addition working. And you have to tell it that, I think. No? Expected close bracket. This doesn't work. Error bar. Compound literals are only allowed to contain value field equals value. I can do width equals 1, height equals 2. That doesn't work. Compound literals are only allowed to contain up to 1 field equals value. It got 2. You'd have to do v equals 2f32 on 2, right? Even that's slightly painful. Oopsie. 3, 4. Don't think you can get rid of this. Oh, maybe you can. That's less painful. So maybe we lean into doing something like that then. But I can then do like this. It doesn't give me addition really easily though, does it? You have to do something like that. Tell it it's a bar again. That doesn't even feel that great, does it? Because the alternative, come up here to PP1, pos x equals 1, y equals 2, PP2 is pos x equals 3 and y equals 4. And I say res is equal to... Oh, maybe it is better. If I go pos... Can you do that and get a nice addition behavior where x and y are both sizes, and I can just do a equals... I think the answer to this is no, but it thought something I didn't think of before. A is a size. Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't know Odin did operator overloading. No, it's procedure overloading. That's not the same thing though, right? Odin programming operator overloading. What is this? Asked in the Q&A a while ago. There is no operator overloading. Design goals are explicitness and simplicity. It's very easily abused and can be used to do many magical things. A procedure is clearer and more explicit. So he's saying, don't do what I'm trying to do. He's saying, just make an add procedure. Ah, okay. That feels slightly sad. I think that just means whatever this just spat out was a lie as well. Yes, you can absolutely do that. Find the procedure, and then tell the compiler to use this procedure for the plus operator. Hash operator plus add sizes. I mean, let's try it. So what have we got? We've got size. As its vector, it has the raw struct to refer to the same bits in memory. Find the procedure for addition. So we say add bar, proc bar bar, left hand side, right hand side, bar. Return bar wrapped around v equals left hand side v plus right hand side v. Assuming what it does in here. Yeah. So this does not live inside. Just does it. It's the bit I'm not sure works. Yeah, what's that about? Hash operator. Directives are a way of extending the core behavior of the Odin programming language. They have the form hash directive name. So yeah, these are kind of like compiler hints, right? There is no hash operator in here. Caller location, caller expression. Pro tip, generic operators. Can you tell me, you give me a link to the Odin docs where I can read about the hash operator directive? I think it's just hallucinated that. Oh no. He's like, go use Jai. I'd like to use Jai. It's not out yet. Ah. Ah, no. So use the .v field explicitly and then do the wrapping. Or make an explicit procedure. I know that. Okay. Well, we learned one cool trick, and then we trusted the robot too much, and it lied to us. So what's the Odin trick for this? Is really I should make an add function that is explicitly overloaded, like this. Say add proc, add bar. Right, so if I have foo bar baz struct hash raw union v, you lot can all be foo. You can be foo using struct. I guess you can have xy. Xy seems pointless because they already have xy. What other dimensions you can have? You can have width and height. You can have depth and I don't know, length. Make them both into F32s. We'd have add baz is a proc that says left hand side, right hand side, baz returns a baz. Return a baz. This feels really stupid. Right hand side dot v. You'd add that in there. And then instead of using this, the advice would be you go res equals add p1, p2. And you go ahead and get width and height off them. And then you can just do that, and that all works. And get you a bar. And if I cast, or I'll make baz1 is equal to a new baz, where v is equal to p1.v, and baz2, the new baz, where v is equal to p2.v. I can then do, where it was d is equal to, say, res baz is equal to add baz1, baz2, and d is equal to resbaz.d, and L is equal to resbaz dot L. And if I add these on the end, I can now do D and L. Blows up. Hit the wrong button. Yeah, so that all works. Is that nicer? I mean, maybe. It's still lets us leverage the vector programming by using V directly. gives us the swizzling, and then we add all these other functions in. I won't lie, I'm not super happy about it though. Okay. So to do we want to refactor pos and dim to work more like this? Let's us access fields with nice names, but also use Odin's nice array programming. I want to. I mean, it's a bit of boilerplate, but it's not terrible, is it? Okay, we'll think about that in a minute. I think refactor like that is probably going to be easier to do once we can see that the thing is working. So I think what we want to do is we want to pull in an asset and be drawing something to the screen, so that we can then do refactors and know we've not broken anything, right? I think means we're going to have to go and find Flectris main.odin. We're going to need to nick a load of stuff out of here. I might just nick the entire thing for now. Let's see. What's all this then? What we got? We're not going to be worried about events yet. So all of that can go. Get proc address we do care about still. Error callback I think we're going to care about still. So they need to go at the bottom, I think. Do we just have too many of these? Maybe? Oh, we don't have code in JSON to tell it how to actually put things in the right place. Okay. Okay. We'll just use big tabs for now. The glfw sets an error callback, initializes. I think all of this stuff should all be the same. Need that. Don't care about input handling at this point. Don't care about the sound player at this point. Don't care about the game. Do care about the stopwatch. Let's go ahead and do a... Hope it's core time. Looks like it is. GLFW polls events. Not doing any of this. Import built-in. How do you get to it? Core runtime. No. Base runtime. Sick. And then it blows up. It's understandable because we have no assets anywhere. But what does that actually mean we're doing? We get past all of our guff. We're initializing GLFW. We're creating a window. We are setting a callback for when the window size changes so that our renderer can handle it and set up a new swap chain. We initialize our Vulkan instance, which involves passing through a bunch of stuff. We create the they call it the window surface interface. so Vulkan knows how to talk to the screen. Initialize the renderer, make a stopwatch. Tell GLFW to poll inputs and stuff. HMS nanos is equal to that. Oof. Fun. So we should be rendering at 60 frames per second, doing nothing. It's currently unable to do that because we have no assets. Should we just go pick a picture? PNG smiley face. Preferably one with a see-through background. I think you'll do. Smiley.png. And if we go ahead then and we say, where are you blowing up? Where is it being called though? Oh, should we practice our debugging? Should we act like it's an actual failure? Weren't expecting. I would now come in here and I'd say core dump control. Something like that. Do a backtrace to see that it was called create texture from file. Come in here, create texture from file. It's called in a couple of places. So I'm hard coding that in here. Nice, Matt. So that might be something to say is don't hard code the texture paths. Have a way to pass in which assets we're initializing. I think for now we're still going to assume that the game is sufficiently small and simple to just initialize everything up front, right? So you have kind of one loading screen as the game comes up and then no more loading screens because everything's already ready. I don't know. It seems like it's a long shot, particularly I'm thinking of like, oh, sorry. I'm anticipating having like 32 by 32 pixel sprites. I think you need to have a lot of those before initializing them all at startup will become an issue. All right, what are we going to say then? So we're in here. We're going to go ahead and say, instead of this... Oh, we've not copied across our shaders, have we? Okay, so that's coming. Let's go ahead and say smiley. Texture path. Christ. Type will be smiley PNG. Let's go ahead and say smiley. Texture index will be 0. Go to run. A bunch of stuff blows up. Actually, this stuff's quite like integrated into our render, isn't it? Yes. Okay. That plan's not going to work, at least not easily, is it? Right, let's put all this stuff back where we found it. Well, there's a thing we'd like to rework, is I want to not have this be hard-coded on. I probably want to have like a dynamic array of textures, or even a fixed size array of textures, but like something more flexible than this. Okay, so let's think. What are we going to do? Should we just copy the stuff across from Flectris again? Interesting, we're now in here. So we need to copy shaders to Game2. And we need to copy at least some of these over. Let's go ahead and say you lot to Game2. Do the copy. Oops, undo that. Come back to Game2. See what we've got. Don't need all of these, so all of these sound effects I think can go. We only need the PNGs for this, don't we? So that's just to get us like test data in place. The fact we've got our shaders, but we've got no what's it? This thing, right? In fact, I think that is literally what we want to do. So let's let's just copy that as well. And then can I do run sh like that? No, run it in Flectris. That's not what I wanted. Go back to Game2. So instead of that, I want to do run sh. Cool. We're not actually drawing anything, but we're not erroring. So that's nice. Now, build file. Main.bid in it, so we can now get rid of that. We're going to want git ignore, which again is probably easiest to just take from here. Git attributes. That's also probably wise to take with us. So let's go ahead and say mark. we are fully just taking everything at this point. Maybe I should have just copy pasted everything over. Grab all of that. No compression rule found. I don't want to compress you. I want to take you and copy you to Game2. Okay, so let's have a look. We have some on-stage changes in there. And then I just want to have a quick check that nothing from build is making it into here. That's good. Come into Nya. We'll format because it just makes all the tabbing a little bit less of a pain. Can we manually add something to our drawables? So we're in here. Can I go ahead and just say drawable 0 equals something? What do I do? And just manually fill this stuff in. Oh, there's a positive dim on drawable, isn't there? Yeah, there is. Okay. See what we'll do. We'll grab all that. Stick it in there. We'll go ahead and say drawable is equal to drawable. Pos is equal to pos 0, 0. Oops, sorry. Pos equals that. Z equals that. Dim equals 60, 60. Texture data needs defining. Override color false. Red. And then texture data will move up. We'll say texture data is equal to, we'll come in here, we'll say bang, bang, bang. Those are all equals. And now I can't remember how we do this. Pick one of these. Just put some numbers in. And powers of 2. Feels likely to end up being powers of 2, doesn't it? We'll make that 0, 0. What's the problem? Is you don't know that you're a texture data. So we do something like that. We go ahead and say drawable, or it's drawables 0. Drawable count is 1. Did it do anything? Don't know if it did anything. So what does that actually do then? So we've set the first thing. Come into here, we say for drawable in drawables. It will populate vertices and indices with all this guff. Something's gonna be empty in the drawables, isn't it? The end of each like cycle. Oh, I'm also not calling draw anywhere. That won't help. Can we come in here then and just say, so this is effectively saying like something. Let's do like render frame. Oh my god, renderer. Is that the thing I'm thinking of? Render frame draws drawables. It will reset the drawable count. And draw drawables, then iterates over that. Yeah. And populates the vertex and index buffers, which are then used to actually draw to the screen. Okay, so we're now clearing the screen. So that's a start. Right. This is what the override color is for. We set that. Cool. We are getting something. It's that my clear color is black and I'm drawing something black on top, which is silly. Make these a bit bigger. And should we make it like not square so it's a bit easier to see? Cool. Is text index 0 our font? Do I want to do text index 1? Make that false. And that, I think, is correctly pulling something off our textures. Move that along a bit. Oh, whoops, wrong thing. Come up here. We move this one along a bit. Yeah, we get a different color. We move it along. That should get us a couple of colors. Yeah, nice. And this I guess proves that it's working, right? So it's a single quad that is being sampled off some texture, and if we go and look up what those textures look like, we find a bunch of squares. Right, because this was our pieces when we were doing what's it? Our Tetris game. So we were in that case kind of sampling in this area here. And I guess it's sampling in a way that means that this very small variation is getting missed. It's not sampling very smartly, but we could probably test that even. Go back in main. We're looking in here. What does it say? So that's 32 by 32. Make the width less big. I don't know. It doesn't seem to be getting any hits in that dark bit. I don't think we care enough to debug at this point. That works for me as kind of proof of concept. We've got a thing, drawing a thing. I think that's good enough for us to get started, honestly. I'm curious why this thinks it has errors. Or is it just OLS is error processing message, file missing, opening directory, no such file or directory, Odin probe HTTP. Okay. I think my language server is confused. Is it WD to get session? This thinks it should be finding HTTP. How weird. Why is it trying to open that like old thing that I've been doing? Is there a way to be like, don't do that? Major mode, LSP mode. Scroll up. Negative argument. Is there a way to just be like, kill it though? G to revert buffer. G argument. Describe mode. Okay, no. Q. Just closes the whole thing. Okay, fuck it. Yeah, so that's kind of step one. I think what we're going to do, we're going to make a readme. So we're going to call it Game2. To do, I'm going to call this like preliminary refactoring. And I might do this off video, because I think it's going to be a lot of quiet reading, and it's going to be really boring. We've already come across a couple of these things. So refactor stuff like pos and dim. To improve ergonomics. E.g., we want nicer arithmetic operations. Refactor renderer, so texture, assets and handling. Loading, I guess. Texture, assets, and loading is less hard-coded. More extensible. I think I've got it on my to-do list that I want to make our screen resizing behavior nicer. But this is kind of my point, right? I think I've had it on my to-do list for a while to go back and look at renderer. Can renderer be made nicer? Making more use of dynamic rendering. Because we enabled it, but I don't think we ever like stopped to think about it. We just enabled it because the old version was getting deprecated. Like, I think there's a bunch of stuff that could be nicer. Oh, I just thought of another one immediately. If you look through the Flectris code base, which is all on GitHub and publicly available, everything I want to draw, I'm now going to draw a rectangle at this position with this dimension. I think we need to come up with a way to say, like, I want to position a parent container, and then I want to position things within it. Kind of like a container child layout algorithm. Seems a bit fancy to call it an algorithm, but that's, I guess, what I'm getting at. So let's say position rectangles within each other more nicely. Combine entity and drawable to a single layer. But you can see there's a lot of stuff that I'm like, I think we could do nicer. So that's going to be step one. I'll give that all a bit of a look and a think offline, and I'll catch you in the next video. But yeah, this should be a fun time. I just thought of another thing. We probably should write some tests, shouldn't we? Yeah, I think this one, I think we're going to try and take a little bit more seriously and do a bit nicer and more maintainably. Taking the lessons learned. So maybe it's time for us to write some tests. Do we have a nice way to have renderer output a screenshot of what the screen currently looks like to an image? That might be fun. That might be nice. Yeah, like I said, let's see, lots of thoughts, lots of ideas. I don't know if we're going to do them all, but I think it'd be good to kind of take a pause, go through them. And then that might be a video. It might be 10 videos. I might do it offline because I think some of this might be really boring. We'll see. But I will let you know what I decide in the next video. So have a good one, and I'll catch you all later.